fist in the air, tell me to sit down, I don't even care. The sun will rise again, so will I. A little more bruised, a little more high. They talk, I laugh, they act, I roll. Keep pushing my luck, I'm out of control. Raised up rough, so I've learned to show. Mess around with me, or fuck around and find out. Just riding the wave, ain't a thing I'm taking to the grave. If trouble's calling, I'm already gone. Live fast, burn bright till the break of dawn. They talk, I laugh, they act, I roll. Keep pushing my luck, I'm out of control. Raised up rough, so I've learned to show. Mess around with me, or fuck around and find out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered.
What it is.
If y'all can't tell by the name of the episode, we're late. As always. I think we're like 2 weeks late, actually.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was the 4th of July, and last week being 4th of July, you and Hunter did your 4th of July special, and the week before, I'm not exactly sure, but life gets. Well, I think the week before was like Father's Day or something, so it's been and I've been sick half of this damn week now, since like basically I woke up Saturday morning feeling like I was hit by a bus.
What's up, Porky? Glad you could join the chat, man. This is Unfiltered, not two drunks. We normally air it on Saturdays, so this is the normal scheduled content on a Friday night.
Yeah, hey, it's good to be back in the seat. Like we talked last night, we did some recording for another project, and I don't know, you could probably tell, but I'm still a lot stuffy. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I woke up Saturday morning and I thought, I drank a lot Friday. I started drinking at noon, drank myself sober, and then got drunk again. I woke up thinking maybe it had something to do with that. No. It just got worse Sunday into Monday, and I'm like, damn, I can't do nothing. I had to get better by Wednesday because I had to record videos for YouTube, so I did everything I could. I pounded down more coffee and tea in the past couple days than I've ever drank in my life.
Man, we got tore up on that 4th of July special.
You guys were drinking all kinds of mixed shit.
You said you drank yourself sober, and then you sobered up, started drinking again. Us, we had a punishment from before Aftermath got canceled. So we were making do on that punishment. Hey, appreciate it, man. Drinking some ETBIB. You know what that is?
ETBIB? Nope. Some alien stuff?
No, I was going to say Evan Williams, but that's E.T. He said E.T. Huh.
Hold on. I got the Googler here.
But, we were making right on a punishment that we had from Aftermath, and it was that we had to make 3 strong drinks, and Hunter decided that he was going to go early times. I have never.
Yeah, I was about to say it's early times bottled in bond. Suburban whiskey. There you go. Get you some whiskey in.
Yeah, dude, bonded whiskey is becoming a thing. Instead of like double barreled or single barreled, bonded is becoming like real popular.
So you know me, you know that I'm a drinker, right? I've been drinking for a long, long time. It wasn't up until I think it was around Father's Day that I found out what IPA actually stands for. And it's so stupid because it's literally right on the freaking can when you buy it. The Indian Pale Ale. I was like, oh, it's a IPA Indian Pale Ale. I said it probably 100 times and never put it together that those were the same thing.
I am not an IPA kind of person.
No, that shit's too hoppy for me.
Yeah, I don't do hoppy at all. Like we'll go to Oktoberfest here at the zoo, and the me and I always go for the loggers. Like I know I'll like it, you know.
Right, yeah. It's basically just beer.
Staying away from IPAs. I stay away from shit. I stay away from IPAs. I stay away from malt liquors. Uh,
I messed around around Easter time. We went to this event called Eggs and Kegs, which, by the way, complete lie. It was a huge. There was no kegs. Yeah, exactly. There was no kegs. It was a gigantic ass adult Easter egg hunt on this big golf course, right? And there was just Easter eggs everywhere, but they were the plastic ones. So you pay your ticket, and then you're allowed to get like 9 eggs or something like that, or 8 eggs. I'm not sure what it was. And then you come back to the table and you open them up, and inside each one is a little slip of paper. And whatever that paper is, that's what can of whatever it is off the table you're allowed to get. So, like, you open it up and it'll say like cinnamon something, and you go to where the can is with the cinnamon stuff, and you get to take that. You hand them the little ticket. Well, I was there, the wife was there, and the brother-in-law was there, and I'm the only one that drinks out of them. So I ended up with all these cans of these different IPAs and shit, and I'm like taking little sips of them, and like, nope, ain't doing that. There was one that was kind of okay, and it was like Big Trucker or something. It tastes like a stale Bud Light, and I don't even like Bud Light anymore, but it was like a warm, then got cold Bud Light. So I could deal with that a little bit, but the other ones, no. And there was like some hot, like a jalapeno ale, and I'm like, well, I like hot shit, so this can't be bad. I gave that a try, and nope.
What's going on, Decoy? Hey, what's the proof on that early times, Porky? And what's the flavor consistency like? What's the flavor profile? But anyways, so Aftermath gave us the punishment, 3 strong drinks. I cheated a little bit. If you've ever had club cocktails, they come in a can. It's 10% alcohol. For a mixed drink in a can, that's pretty stout, you know. So that's what I went with.
10% pretty good.
Went with the different flavors. So really, I had like 5 different drinks because I picked 5 different cans. Hunter, on the other hand, was making one drink, and it was called Adios, Motherfucker. And consisted of tequila, vodka, gin, and rum. A splash of sweet and sour mix, and a splash of blue curacao. Those drinks.
No.
Have you ever had a walk me down?
I may have. I don't.
It's a blue. It's a blue drink. It's kind of walk me downs are up there with like old fashions. Like it's a classic drink.
Right. Usually when I'm at a bar, I'm at the bar and I'm just drinking Budweiser after Budweiser after Budweiser. The only time I ever really drink mixed drinks at a bar is when somebody talks me into it or just buys it for me, and then I don't know what it is. But when somebody buys you a drink at a bar, you have to drink it, or you're that guy at the bar that like everybody else had it, but you didn't. So I probably drank more drinks than I even know what they were, just because I'm already drunk at this point. So what's the worst that could happen? Slam it down, grab another beer, and get rid of it. I've had some that taste like, you're eating a freaking pineapple, and then I've had some where it was like I was drinking gasoline.
Yep. We used to go to a bar called Maria's Cantina, and I knew quite a few of the waitresses or bartenders. I knew some of the waitresses too. But I was a regular in there. They knew me by name, all that good shit. She would make one of the bartenders would make a gummy bear drink, and you would think it was like extremely sweet, and it had a little bit of sweetness to it, but that shit was so good. Tater,
You-
hey, it's
the
Hammy
only
and
time-
that other guy. I forgot his name.
The only time that I ever went to the bar knowing that I was gonna not drink beer was, I don't even know how old I was, man. It had to have been over 20 years ago now. But we had a bar. It was called Foo Bar, Fubar. Stood for exactly what you would think it is. Fucked up beyond all recognition. And what they would do is they had the standard drinks, like you could go buy the standard mixed drinks, or you could ask for a bartender special. The bartender special was a set price. You could get a bartender special, and I could get a bartender special, and they both be completely different. It's just whatever the bartender decides to pour into a cup. That's what you get. I 1,000% don't remember getting home anytime I ever went there. I do know somehow that I drove home every time and magically never hit nothing. And mind you, this bar was situated on a one-way road with parking on that road with a train tracks, like a cement wall and then train tracks. So if something goes wrong, you're going to pinball back and forth off of these cars and the wall. Never hit nothing. Don't know how I did it. So either A, I drove home and I'm just a really good drunk driver, or B, somebody took me home and left my car there and walked. But nobody ever told me that I didn't drive home, so I have to be left to assume that I did drive home.
Let's just say the bartender probably took your keys and drove you home.
I mean, that sounds more responsible. Yeah, let's just go with that.
You've never drank and drove. Like that's never happened.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's
That
not
is
a responsible
irresponsible.
thing to do.
That is very irresponsible. Yeah. And you're a very responsible person. You would not do that.
Absolutely. Yes, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. That is
like if you run out of beer in the middle of the night, you do like any other man would do, and they go and they wake up their wife and say, "Go get me some more fucking beer. I need you to go to the store."
Yeah, that's what I do right there. That's exactly it. Or I will Uber it.
No, that's expensive. That is very irresponsible as well. Like you're
okay, so I won't
managing
Uber it.
your money. What the fuck? Oh shit.
Well, I always look for.
I plead the fifth of what was just said.
Okay, well, nothing was said. You're too responsible to say anything.
Yeah,
irresponsible.
I didn't say. She's still standing there. Shit. This might be the last episode of Unfiltered, guys. Someone might be collecting on a life insurance policy.
Are we about to witness a domestic live on the air?
She's over here. What did you just say? I said, woman, if I run out of beer, I wake your ass up and I say, step on it.
Give me fucking beer don't buy itself. Get going.
Fucking beer don't buy itself. Oh shit.
Gotta love it. So here's an interesting little tidbit that you might not be aware of, but for some reason it popped up on my phone today, and I thought it was kind of hilarious. And this right here is like verbatim the exact wording that was on the title of it before I clicked on it. It said rock band on Spotify with more than 1 million listeners announces their music is entirely AI generated. The band's name is Velvet Sundown. They created an entire album. They're like a 60s influence band. Like their music is 60s style, and they have over 1 million listeners on Spotify. And they came out and said, like, hey, by the way, none of this shit is real. It's all AI generated, and thanks for making us rich. So that is kind of hilarious.
There's still work involved in that, though. There's a lot of work involved in that. Because I'm sure they were I'm sure they were just AI generating the lyrics like 100%. They were probably composing their own lyrics, but like with Suno, you can pick uh like the like if you liked a certain voice, you could use that same voice for multiple songs.
Right, and that's what I think happened because it says that their music is entirely AI generated. So I feel like what happened is they probably just did that. They probably went on there or typed in, "Write me a '60s song using this style about this topic." You know what I mean? And it just spit out a song, and they're like, "Hey, there you go. Let's just upload it to Spotify, and that's our song." And they put together an entire album. And I guess people were trying to like, "Hey, when are you guys going on tour or whatever?" And they had to come out and be like, first off, we're not even a band. It's probably just some dude sitting in a fucking house doing that Sanu thing or whatever it's called. Just here we go. Now I'm a millionaire old just because I decided to AI generate 16 songs and put them on the internet.
Honestly, I would probably say fuck it. It'd be like, yeah, we're going on tour. You get to that concert, you got all these fans there waiting on you and stuff, and it's just AI videos, AI music videos,
Like the Gorillas,
yeah.
that band, the Gorillas back in the day, just the cartoon characters up there singing on a screen.
And so your entire concert is going to be nobody on stage. It's just going to be
Just
it's going to be like
yep,
waking up on
a
Saturday
movie
morning
screen.
and watching MTV, watching the top hits.
Yeah, that's. I don't know why I thought that was hilarious when I read it. I'm like, this has got to be like, there's no way something's wrong here. That this should make more sense than what it does. So I clicked on it and I went down that stupid ass rabbit hole of reading, like, I don't know, 100 paragraphs worth of people bitching that they felt like they're being cheated, and it's not right, that these people should have put a disclaimer out that
No,
this is AI generated. And I'm like, well, but you got to understand, 95% of the shit you see nowadays is AI generated. Like one of the most popular videos on YouTube is of the Bigfoot holding the selfie stick running through the woods or what. Like that's all AI generated, but people are loving it, and nobody's saying, hey, you forgot to put in your video description that Bigfoot's AI. We thought it was a real Bigfoot.
I didn't think I had to disclaim that.
You would think,
but there are people in the world, and apparently, for you to feel cheated, lied to, stuff like that, I don't feel like they probably never really claimed to fame.
yeah, I don't know. I never really I didn't look into their stuff. You're more of the Spotify listener than I don't listen to Spotify, but I don't know how Spotify even labels their music.
That's what's playing behind me now.
Does Spotify put it let you do a video description, or is it just this is the next song playing by this artist? Because to me,
the artist that's on the TV now. If I pulled it up on my phone, pulled Spotify up, I can click on the song. It's not doing it. Okay, it will tell me a little bit about the artist, who that artist is, how many followers they have, all the music they've had, and then it gives credits, and will give you who the artist was, who wrote the song, all that.
Right. Well, I mean, what I'm saying, how many songs on Spotify are probably AI generated? Obviously, if you see a Beyonce song or whatever on there, then
you can
that's not the
upload
case.
your Suno songs. You could absolutely upload your Suno songs. You own those, and you can put them on Spotify. What's going on, Timmy?
Yeah,
How's it going, buddy?
So why should you have to then make a disclaimer? If you that's like that be me saying, okay, you wrote an intro for a YouTube video and you put it on there. Do you have to give yourself credit for doing this? I don't understand how that would work. If you listen to a song and you're like, that song sounds exactly like the one I made on Sununu or whatever that place is called. The artist sounds the same. You're stealing my, the song, or you had the same. It's a program that just writes a song and sings it to you. And
you see, I don't think
Suno, what it is.
I don't think Suno owns I'm sure that there's some type of stipulation with Suno or with any of them AI generated things. I bet you have to give credit to the AI company that you used.
Right, but what if you're
What
paying? If
what's
you
the
have
name
a
of the brand or the name of that band again?
Velvet Sundown, but like you pay a subscription to that place to generate the music, isn't that your
Dude,
like licensing fee?
I swear if this shit sounds. See, they claim Velvet Sundown is the main artist, the composer, and the lyricist. So they covered all grounds.
Yeah, but once they came out and said that, hey, we're completely our music AI generated,
And
now people are pitching a fit.
Their description is the Velvet Sundown is a synthetic music project guided by human creative direction and composed, voiced, and visualized with the support of artificial intelligence. This isn't a trick, it's a mirror, an ongoing artistic provocation designed to challenge the boundaries of authorship, identity, and the future of music itself in the age of AI. All characters, stories, music, and voices and lyrics are original creations generated with the assistance of AI employed as creative instruments. Any resemblance to actual places, events, or persons living or deceased is purely coincidental and unintentional. Not quite human, not quite machine. The Velvet Sundown lives somewhere in between. That's just their
So now I wonder.
Spotify. Now they could have
I wonder
updated this after being called out.
like if the how long this story, like it obviously it was on my phone last night or today, so I don't know. Has this been a thing for a while and they fixed it? I don't know.
So they have one album. They released an entire album June 4th of this year. They have another album coming out July 14th of this year. And on Spotify alone, they have 1.3 million listeners.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I would say.
That's some of their artwork. So that's even probably Suno's artwork. Honestly, that is probably not even their artwork.
Well, I think isn't the cover of their album like four dudes or something like that?
That is the cover of this album.
Oh. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that somebody
the cover of
somebody
their,
would create
the cover
that.
of their Spotify is that, which is four guys.
Yeah, that one there, the four guys. That's the picture I seen.
So that is their cover on Spotify, but that is their album cover.
Nope. I don't know why that would pop up on. Like, I don't even listen to Spotify, so why that would even show up on my news feed is absolutely beyond me. But still, it was there.
Stop saying tea and biscuits. You're not going to summon him. Or let's hope you don't summon him. That's nuts though, man. To hate on somebody's game. Like they found an exploitation. There's no laws against it. There's nothing. They didn't do anything wrong. If you like the music, you like the music. You don't like.
It reminds me of like the.
If you don't like
the
it
T-Pain
AI,
and stuff like that, right?
A lot of AI you can tell that it's AI, like in certain points.
Well, think about it like this, though, right? Like T-Pain, that wasn't his real voice. He was using that weird tube thing to sing, like that, whatever they call that, auto tuning. And how much rap music is actually done with real instruments? It's not. It's done with a computer. So why would people think that it's something to bitch about? Because
before rap music with a computer, it was done on a piano. Because you can make beats on a piano. That's how a lot of
Yeah,
it
it
was
definitely
done
was.
before all the computer shit.
People, it's just that's just the weird thing. For first off, for somebody to bitch about it, but then have enough people to bitch about it that it turned out to be something on the news. Like that's amazing.
All singers, Decoy says all singers now use auto tune.
Oh, probably yeah, to a certain degree, I imagine. They there's definitely a lot of filters and stuff that they use to make their songs sound good. You go listen to the same artist that you love in a concert, and the music don't sound the same. Like the music sounds the same, but the words don't sound the same because like when I went last year, when I went to that Creed concert, I was thoroughly let down by how good Creed was. That's just that's just how it is.
Uh, Timmy says, "Hell, you don't have to be real about anything anymore, and you will still get further ahead than someone who's genuinely themselves." Yeah,
Yeah, that happens.
it does happen. Uh, you still do have artists that are genuine and don't that swear against the auto tune.
Most of that's
That
country music too, if you really think about
it
it.
is like Chris Stapleton's a big one. He sounds the same in person that he sounds uh, on an album. Aaron Lewis is another one from Stained. Uh, Seeing him live, he sounds the exact same live than he does uh, on an album. And that guy, Aaron Lewis, man, if you could ever see him live, that dude puts on a hell of a fucking show.
Well, like I said, when I went to that Creed concert, I forget who all was there. It was Creed, uh, Three Doors Down, somebody else, can't remember. Uh, but I was Creed and Three Doors Down. I was not. That was it. Didn't I knew the words to the songs because I know the songs, but it did not sound like them singing. Right, like the music played, it was great. The words were not so good.
Decoy says old George Strait is 81 and he still sounds like he's in his 40s.
Is George Strait the one that? No, I don't think that. Who was it? Conway Twitty? I'm trying to remember now. Was the guy that basically ripped off Elvis's whole gimmick and did it country, like sounded just like Elvis, but as a country singer.
It wasn't Conway Twitty.
I can't remember who it was, but I know who's the country guy that had the stroke or whatever, really popular, Randy Travis.
Randy Travis, yeah.
When Randy Travis they did that whole like Hall of Fame deal, they had a bunch of artists up on stage singing, and he was one of the guy that sings like Elvis was one of them. Can't freaking remember who it was, but it was a country guy that sounded like Elvis. That's best I could say. But I don't really listen to country music every now and then. Like I like the older stuff. But I guess really not. I suppose you could count like
I was trying to look it up. Of course, Johnny Cash comes up as being a ripoff of Elvis, just
yeah.
because they had a feud. But I don't feel like Johnny Cash was really a ripoff of Elvis. To me, in my honest opinion, Johnny Cash. See you later, Timmy. Catch you on the next one, man. Uh, Johnny Cash was better than Elvis in a lot of fucking ways. But that's my opinion.
I'm just gonna see if there's no way I'm gonna be able to find it, but
I just tried to do a quick Google search just to see if I could figure it out. Decoy said Robert Marty Stewart.
yeah, I'm not sure. That's the thing. Like I don't really know their names. That's it would have been he would have probably been like in the 90s. So maybe if I just refine the search to in the 90s. Keeps popping up this Drake Milligan guy. I don't know who the hell that is. Oh, this is going to be one of them rabbit hole things. I got to get away from it because I'll keep going down this.
White Yoakum.
It could be. I don't know.
Because it said one notable country artist who was often associated with Elvis Presley's music in the 90s was White Yoakum.
That could be. I mean, the guy he almost looked just like him too, like the style of his hair, and I can't remember. No, it's not worth even trying to remember.
White Yoakum did not have Elvis hair, that was for sure.
You know what? We'll just do the country singers who look like Elvis. Maybe that'll pop something up. I don't know why I'm going down this hole here all the time. Of course, I type in country singers who look like Elvis, and every single picture on Google is Elvis.
Yep.
Way to go, Google. You had one fucking job.
They just took Elvis. That's all they took.
They caught that keyword and just kept going with it. I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. How about something I brought up to you earlier about the whole New York thing? That dude that's running for mayor in New York. What do you think of him?
I need to look it up.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce his name right, so that should tell you. Like it's
Zohran.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try his
Mammy
last
Danny? Ma'am Danny?
And Danny?
Some shit like that. I don't know. Yeah. But he's running for mayor, I guess, on the Democrat side, and he beat out the last mayor or last governor, whatever his name was, against Andrew Cuomo. But the dude's like basically a socialist. I think it's kind of hilarious that people are thinking about even putting him in there. He's going to run against that Eric Adams, and like the dude wants to shut down grocery stores and grocery stores and restaurants and stuff like that, and basically have them run by the city. Like the city just pays for everything, and that's going to put so many people out of a job and shut down a lot of family-owned businesses
like
from a long time.
Won.
He won the primary. He didn't win the election. The election's not until like November.
Okay, primary election results. Won by 43%.
Yeah. Which is absolutely crazy that anybody in the right mind would think, hey, you know what? Let's let the city or the state run our restaurants, our stores, our medical facilities. What happens when the money's not there? You know what I mean? Like that's if something major happens and they have to take funding from one thing and put it into another spot, what happens to the hospital or the store? You know, everybody's pitching a fit about Medicare and Medicaid with this with Trump's bill. Oh, it's good. People are going to lose all this health care and shit. Well, wouldn't that do the same thing if they can't afford to keep the hospitals running off of state money? I don't know. It blows my mind that people are bitching about one thing like that, saying, hey, we don't want this bill to go into law because we'll all lose our health care and food stamps, but we want our city to run our health care.
This kind of, like, looking up a little bit about the guy, for one, and I think that any type of elected official in the United States of America should be from the United States of America. If you are not from this country, you should not be able to run for political office. The fucking president has to be an American citizen, outside of Obama. This dude is from Uganda.
Yep. That's I don't get it, man. But
Like how?
that's if that's what New York wants to do. I believe honestly that if he's elected in New York, they're you're going to see people moving out of New York and opening businesses in different states, because how many places in New York are actually family owned and operated for 50 to 100 years? Because you think about it, New York is where all the immigrants first came in. Ellis Island, that's where everything took place. A lot of those pizza shops and restaurants and shit are, been there for forever. And if he's going to come in and say restaurants and everything have to be run by the city, well, what's going to happen to those? They're going to shut down, and those people are going to be like, nope, screw you. We're going to move to a place where we're allowed to run our own businesses. And that's, oh, good for them if they vote for it. That's what you get.
Got Cosmotech over here. Unfiltered. Oh, never mind. God damn it. Amy's here.
Yeah, here I am.
Had to run it.
Had to drag me out of the bed after 4 days, 5 days.
So the guy didn't even move. He lived in Africa. So he lived in Uganda up until he was 5. Then he lived in South Africa until he was 7. And then he moved to New York when he was 7 years old.
But where did he come from? Like, you always hear about somebody.
He graduated in 2014 with a bachelor's degree in Africana studies.
Go back to Africana then.
So like you're not even studying. He has no political background at all, outside of holding a seat with New York since a member of New York State Assembly since January 1st of 2021.
Right, but what I'm saying is most political people in like the political theater, you hear about them, they're coming, right? Like this so and so might run in 20 whatever. This dude literally popped out of nowhere, and now all of a sudden he's running for mayor, and he probably stands a really good chance of winning.
Still has
well, who is
he still has dual citizenship with Uganda and the United States. So not only is his political party Democrat, but his other political affiliations are Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah, basically the stuff he's trying to impose or that he's suggesting are almost communist like, because if the state or city or whatever controls every aspect of your life, isn't that like communist? Like there's no value to anything in New York if the state runs it. They're going to make a boatload of money. Well, they're probably not. Maybe for like the first year or two when people have to do it. But I could just see people leaving New York over it.
I mean, New York's almost just as bad as California.
Yeah, I'd be on the first train smoking out of that place. Good Lord. Especially if you're a business person or own a business. If you're just some drug dealer on the street, that shit ain't going to affect you any at all, except for the prices will probably go up through the roof because the city can say that, hey, we're buying it wholesale, but you're going to pay double wholesale for it or triple wholesale for it. And there goes your food stamps.
I have no ambitions or wants or needs or whatever to ever visit New York. So I'm ain't gonna affect me. Y'all make your bed, you lay in it.
Yep, I only ever been in New York 2 times in my life. Once I went up. Oh, Jesus Christ. I was young. And then the second time I went up was the day before my wedding when a buddy flew over from Australia. We went up to, I was on my way to New York and got turned around, but I took him to New York. I really didn't even want to go, but he, being from Australia, he wanted to go up and see the Statue of Liberty and all that, thinking because he's in America, that's the best part of America. So we took him up there. And
Little
Then we
does
ended
he
up at the
know.
9/11 museum. Yeah. Oh, it's just a big piece of rock. Really don't mean nothing anymore.
Should have told him, let's fire up Grand Theft Auto 4 and you can see it virtually.
Yeah, you could. Why don't we just go on fucking Google Maps and you can get right up on it? You don't even have to leave the house.
Didn't have to pay to go see it.
The only cool thing that happened that day, and I didn't even think about it until we already walked through it. I believe I told you this already. Was we were trying to figure out how to get back to the where the car was parked because it was in this car garage parked. I don't know my way around New York, so we were just trying to figure it out. We went down by the Hudson River and we were walking the whole Hudson River, and they had signs that pointed out to where the airplane wrecked into the Hudson and all these like yachts and shit that were out there. But we wanted to come back through and didn't know how we got to where we were. So we walked through the back of this building and went up these steps and then down these steps. And here we walked right, like basically right through the lobby of Trump Tower. We went through the back door and out the front door. Didn't know it until we were already out. And I didn't really know that it was Trump Tower until it was all said and done. But yeah, so I can say I was in Trump Tower for all of, I don't know, 2 minutes to walk from the back door to the front door.
Like a big ass building. That would probably be the only thing I would want to go see in New York City. Would be Trump Tower.
And really the only reason you would want to go see it is because the political stuff, right? Like because he's the president. Really, I tell you, when I walked through it, and this is going to downplay it a lot, but it didn't really seem that special. Like it was just like walking. Honestly, I thought I was walking through a mini mall
I'm
because there were so many big
I'm,
glass windows.
I'm sure that there's a specialness to it. It's just not on that floor that you were on. You know, imagine going to the top where his penthouse is, type shit. You know that's where the
Yeah,
special stuff is. Going up to that penthouse.
I'm sure the higher up you go. Like I said, I walked through a back door. We went up maybe like 8 steps, 10 steps. Walked on his platform and then walked down the same amount of steps, and then there was the front door. So I don't know. I took the shortcut through. And still, when we came out, still didn't know where the hell I was. We had to ask people, be like, "Hey, how do you get back to uh the?" Trying to think of what that building was called now. It had a big dome on it. It had a big sign out front. It was like almost like a mosque looking thing, and it was like 2 blocks away from where the 9/11 museum was, and we were parked like 2 blocks past that. And if you know New York, a block is like gigantic. So we were on our hike, and
So
we stopped and got hot
were they
dogs.
rude to you? Like asking
No, not
directions? I've
really.
always heard that New Yorkers are just extremely rude.
No, I feel like maybe when you get into like the city, but I think Manhattan was a little bit different only because they're used to that shit. Everybody that comes through Manhattan, if you don't live there, you're a tourist, right? Like they're used to like, oh, here we go again, some asshole. This is how you get to where you got to go.
Yep.
But like, I didn't stop and talk to him like a tourist. I'm like, hey, I'm from this state and we're up here visiting. How do I get to this place? None of that. I just was like, hey, from here, how do I get to there? And oh, go up this road and make a left, and you just hope that they're telling you the truth when you get there.
So, we talked about New York. What do you think about that tunnel that collapsed in California? I think it was like 12
Oh,
miles. It was like a 12-mile tunnel straight down. It was apparently going to be like their water or sewage treatment plant or something like that. I haven't looked up a
hmm.
whole lot on it to see like what caused it.
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
I
I
said
didn't pay
something to
more
you
attention to
yesterday about it.
Oh, yeah, you might have. But like, in what all it was, most I've been paying attention to with California is like all these riots and shit that are going on there. That's craziness.
So this was it was due to structure failure in the tunnel lining. The collapse occurred approximately 5 to 6 miles into the tunnel, trapping 31 workers. The incident happened during the construction of Clearwater Project, a wastewater tunnel for the Los Angeles County Sanitation District.
Huh.
The exact cause of the structure failure is still under investigation. They're thinking that it was geological conditions, water pressure, and the tunnel's design and construction. So, are you telling me they're geological conditions? Are you telling me there might have been an earthquake?
Yeah, why would you dig tunnels in California of all places? Like, doesn't that sit right on like one of the fault lines? Like that's you.
How many fucking movies have been made specifically about California and the earthquakes? You know,
No, they say the safest place to be in an earthquake is underground because you really nothing can fall on you. But I don't think that is entirely true because if you're in a tunnel,
if you're digging a
that tunnel
fucking
can
tunnel,
collapse. But why are you digging a tunnel in an area that is like could have earthquakes? I just don't.
Los Angeles literally sits on the San Andreas fault line.
Yeah, let's build a let's build a luxury hotel right in the middle of the Canadian wild, or like in the Canadian forest where all these wildfires happen. Let's do that. That seems like a great idea.
It makes sense. Kind of like you being
Apparently,
responsible and not drinking and driving. It makes
yes.
sense.
I just don't do that. That's bad. I don't endorse nor promote drinking and driving. Do one or the other, but don't do them at the same time.
You know, it's like when will California learn though?
Well, they won't. They
I,
won't. They're too far gone.
I've always like said since all those movies like San Andreas with The Rock in it, Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones in it, uh, 2012 with John Cusack in it, that California would just eventually split off and either sink into the ocean or become its own country.
Well, at this point, I think sinking into the ocean is probably more realistic. They're too far gone to change their mindset. They're like, oh, we're California, we can do whatever we want, and then they find out that they can't, and then they start asking for help. Like, hey, we don't need all this water coming down from Canada and draining into the ocean through our state. Let's make it go out above it, and then when we have all these fires, let's bitch and complain that we don't have enough water. I
That
don't
made
think you can
absolutely
really.
no sense to me.
Yeah, you can't really shoot yourself in the foot and then bitch that you got shot.
Like, let's have a water
Don't make
reserve
sense.
for that to put out wildfires, but run out of water to put out wildfires.
Yeah, that's
That was absolutely
like,
fucking nuts to me.
it's like wiping your ass before you shit. It just the things aren't in order here. You should be like, hey, okay, we'll take all the water we can get and let it in our reserves and have a little spillover where it can go out into the ocean like it's gonna normally do. But you never know when we're gonna need this water. And then when they do need the water, it's not there, and then they bitch that it's political that they didn't have it. No, it wasn't political. Y'all decided you didn't want to have this water coming down into your city until it's too late, and then you wanted to point the finger at somebody else and say, "Oh well, if so and so wouldn't have tried to save the Zimbabwe flying pigeon turtle, that's why we don't have the water." Well, fuck that pigeon turtle or whatever you're trying to save.
The California is pretty much a uh small Canada.
Well, it's a first world country run like a third world country. Right? Like it's their population, they should be the beacon of the United States. Instead, they're almost like the laughing stock of the United States.
Don't take your plastic straw there. You'll go to jail.
That's fine. That never made sense to me either. You get a fucking cardboard straw, but you get it inside of a plastic wrapper.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah. And then they give me my drink in a plastic cup.
Again, makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. California, where they only think things halfway through.
Why,
Like
I don't even know.
with all these damn riots and stuff, right? Like, of course, California is the new Mexico. That's basically what it's become, and that's why all this shit's blowing up, is because these people know that a third of the population of California is probably illegal immigrants at this point. It's easier for them to come into the country and just hit California than it is to get anywhere else. And like, I've been watching these for a month now or better, all these riots and shit going on because of ICE. And I seen on the news today or yesterday that ICE raided this like weed factory, like marijuana farm out in California, and they made like 200 or something arrests of illegal immigrants, and they found a bunch of children there working at tables. And 3 of them were unaccompanied. So 3 of them didn't even have an adult there to say, that's my mommy or my daddy, or whatever the case may be. So now they're investigating that place to find out if it's being used for like human trafficking or drug smuggling or whatever. That's absolutely crazy that you would, first off, it's not like you just found out ICE was in your state. They've been there for a month. Why would you just let that shit go?
It's
And then you have
it's
the
been
governor.
known for longer than a month though that ICE was cracking down.
They
This
were coming.
is a national thing. It's not like it's just picking on California. You've known about
Well,
this.
it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's national. You've known about
But
it.
why? But why would you, like, as a human, even if you're not an American, you're a human who still has a brain and can process thoughts. Why would you think that it's okay to do that when you know they're coming, and then you let it on the news and have them bitching that, hey, they arrested 200 of us, but they shouldn't have done it. And then you have the mayor and the governor like basically saying all this stupid shit. Like a couple months ago, the governor was on one of those podcasts and says that guys and girls sports, it's unfair and it shouldn't happen. But then the education secretary says California needs to comply with Title IX or you're not getting no federal funding.
It needs to.
And now he says
that needs to fucking happen because California.
and he says we're not
gonna fucking
abide
by it.
They're not going to do it. He already said he wasn't going to. He said it violates Title IX, violates their state law. Well, I thought federal law trumped state law.
It absolutely fucking does.
So he was just blowing smoke. He was just blowing smoke by saying it was unfair.
Let Trump let Trump pull all of the federal funding out of all of their schools and all that good shit. Let's see what really happens to their public school system when the state is the one running it.
States that don't comply with Title IX, I guess, are gonna they're gonna lose.
They lose federal funding. Really, they should lose state. Really, they should lose state funding too. Honestly, they should lose state funding too.
Well, yeah. States run their education, but the education gets a budget from the federal government. So yeah, that should definitely affect it too. I forget what school it was. It was a school just not that long ago, a week or so. Came out and stripped that dude swimmer of all his championships and like all his records and everything. And
damn, we lost 3 viewers talking shit about California.
Oh yeah.
Hey Tater,
well,
I see you in the chat, Tater. If you we haven't opened up the floor, but if you want to join the waiting room, I'm sure Hamy's okay with us pulling a couple people up.
Like it's not picking on California at all. These are facts. It's not like we're just pulling stuff out of our ass here. This stuff happened. It's known. It's not breaking news.
It's wild to me that people are rioting over the ICE situation. Literally, all that Trump wants to happen is you to do it the right way. And he has no problem with you. He has no problem with you being here. As long as you do it correctly.
Yeah, it's like people say about the law. Like the law, right? It's on the books. It's a law, regardless of whether you agree with it or you disagree with it. But only certain laws should be followed, apparently. So why not just abolish all the laws and let us live
at that
lawless?
Point, you might as well just rip up the Constitution And
If some laws matter and some laws don't matter, it all depends on, what really, it's all political, what political side you're on. If, illegal immigration, that's Democrats love illegal immigration because that's more people to vote for them. Right? That's just how it is. And that's why there's this piss and match. Nobody, you can look back, historically speaking, Obama deported more people than Trump did so far and in his first term combined. Obama made a speech that said, if you're not in this country legally, you will be deported. End of story. Everybody loved it then, but it's because Orange Man's president, and they just don't want to. They don't want to. Whatever he says, even if it's right, or even if it makes sense, you got to go against it because we've said for years that he's an asshole, so we can't support anything he does now.
What led us into the California stuff is we were talking about New York, Tater. So yeah, you're hitting that nail right on the head. He said that California, New York, and a few others are full of people that get offended for everyone else. They need to get their heads out of their asses. Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like I understand why they would want to bitch and complain about it. Sure, you're allowed to. We have that. You have that ability to do a protest. But when you start protesting and throwing stuff at cops who are just doing their job, regardless of how they probably agree with you, but they still got a job to do.
What good do the riots? What good does a riot do you? Like, period.
It gives people overtime. It gives the cops overtime, so they get more money. So I guess it kind of helps somebody out.
Yeah, but you're looting your local businesses, people that did nothing to you. Probably places
Well, that's why
that you
they do it.
shop, and now you just fucked over the little man, like always.
Right, and those people that you're robbing, they're probably right there on the street, right beside you, supporting you, and now you're stealing their shit. Now they're going to go out of business, so in a couple of years, you're not going to have that place to shop at when you need it. But protests aren't protests anymore. Protests are basically just a legal reason to rob somebody. If you get a couple thousand people on the street, send 15, 20 of them to go break into the iPhone store and nab as many iPhones as you can. That's what it's turned into.
Hang on a second.
What else we got here? Oh, well, while we're talking on states, why don't we just jump right into Texas? Since July 4th, man, they've been having a really shitty month so far with this flooding.
Bro, that flooding is ridiculous.
I wrote down some stats on it just so that I had numbers. There's a place that is called Camp Mystic. Right now, the death toll of that place is at 27. Just for clarification, that's like
hold on. How many did you say?
I got 27, but that was from.
And that's just the Camp Mystic.
That's just Camp Mystic.
Okay, because I know they were at like 120 something deaths and like 170 something still missing. Hang on, I'm gonna pull Tater.
So the numbers that I got were Camp Mystic death toll is currently at 27, but there's obviously more expected. The total death toll that's being reported is 128, and it says still there's at least 150 missing. So if you think of it that way, that leaves about 105 families, 305 families down there going through the worst experience of their life. And I think the part where I'm a little bit irritated is our federal government isn't doing near enough. I think they should probably be doing a whole lot more. Let's send everything we have down there, right? There's a fire chief or a fire department down there that wants their fire chief fired for not mobilizing a response soon enough. That's I don't know whose fault that is, right? Like I don't know if that's
has the governor,
their fault.
I haven't looked a whole lot into like what the governor of Texas and stuff is doing. Has the governor of Texas declared a state of emergency to mobilize the National Guard?
I know they have the Coast Guard there. So yeah, I would assume that he probably did. But I mean, their resources and all, like if we sent federal resources down there, if FEMA went and did their thing and we just sent, as much rescue and recovery as we could, they're still finding bodies packed in landslides.
Yeah, did you see that semi truck that was buried? Like trailer and all, just buried. All that was sticking up, it was flipped upside down, and all that was sticking up was the tires. You can see see the tires.
The guy that I watched said, and it was it wasn't great to hear him say it, but he said they're bringing cadaver dogs from anywhere and everywhere that they can get them to come down along these banks and stuff to smell to see if there's bodies buried underneath all this debris. And he said, he right into the camera said, realistically, we may be finding bodies for years. Body parts might just pop up. 5 years down the road, there might just be an arm bone laying in a field or wherever the debris, whatever happens with the debris, if it gets moved out for more erosion, there could just be a leg laying there. And that's the part that is like, how does something like that happen when you live in an area? Okay, imagine this. You live in an area and there is a levee or a dam. Why is it that kind of thing can happen without early warning? And here's the issue is that, what is it, Kern County or whatever? They're the only place in that area that did not install early flood detection sirens, like sirens to start going off to get the hell going. So that caused a lot of the problem.
There was something else going on too with their warning system, because apparently they issued out a flash flood advisory, and then they issued out a flash flood warning, but it never was a warning. A warning that was your life is in imminent danger. It wasn't like you know how you have tornado warnings, and then you have a damn it, what do they call it? Damn it. There's a special name for it.
Well, like a tornado?
It's above a tornado warning, a tornado emergency, which is higher than a tornado warning. It's telling you that motherfucker's on the ground. Like, that's what a tornado warning is, but a tornado emergency, it's literally, it's coming towards a highly populated area or whatever, and it's going to be catastrophic. And they never did that with that flood. It remained as a flash flood warning and never went above a flash flood warning.
We get tornado alerts, and once the tornado alert comes in,
tornado watches means tornadoes are possible, and then you have a tornado warning that indicates that one has been sighted or indicated by radar.
Yeah, but there's
that's what I was going to say.
But there's a tornado emergency too, which is
when we get the tornado warning, that's rare. Like them letting us know that the clouds are there. There's a high probability of a tornado. And when you get the tornado watch, like it just. So I live in a valley. We get tornadoes that come through. Maybe one every couple of years actually comes down by us. But by the time it gets here, it's already pretty much out of water and it can't keep itself going. So we basically just get the wind and shit from it, thank God. But there's places to both sides of me that's like a mile down the road on either side that can just get. We had a big, like, I don't know if it was Amish or Mennonite, but it was just this big, huge ass farm. They had
like that's what I was talking about, Tater.
5 or 6 chicken coops they had, or you know what I mean, not chicken coops, but chicken houses, the big long sons of bitches. They had like 5 or 6 of them. I couldn't tell you how many grain silos, and just in the course of 15 minutes, it pretty much all got flattened. And they I mean, they rebuilt it, but it took them like a couple months to do. You know how Amish, they can chop a tree down today and have a house tomorrow. But it took them a while to recover from that, and a lot of money. They lost a lot and a lot of chickens. Like everything was destroyed. So but like, to get back to the Texas thing, if that's going to happen, why is that not a law? If that's a possibility that could happen, why did the state not say, if you don't have an alarm here within the next X amount of days or months or whatever it would take, realistic time frame, you're going to start getting fined by the state.
But the thing
All
is,
these lives.
so like your taxpayers and such, because you know there's areas in like Florida, you know, you have like Tampa Bay, Miami, Destin, Panama City, the areas that are on that coastal line, they have to have special insurance. You're in a flood zone. You're in a hurricane zone. You have to have special insurance. There's areas here in the Delta where I live that if you're in a low lying field, you have to have flood insurance. Like, you know, special flood insurance, not your typical average flood insurance that most people have. You're talking a severe risk type of insurance, and they were talking about that with like the North Carolina event with the hurricane that went through there last year that fucking tore up I-40.
And all of the mountains.
Yeah. Now they were talking about those people now possibly having to have a certain type of insurance, or was it that they didn't have that insurance? I think it was they didn't have that insurance.
The people in the mountains didn't have insurance to cover what those of us on the coastal areas have, because they're not used to getting something of that nature. Normally, by the time, if it even makes it to them, it's basically a strong thunderstorm. They're not used to getting tropical storms or category 1, category 2 hurricanes. I mean, they got hit with something that they're not used to. They're not prepared for.
Yeah, generational storm.
And
insurance companies should still have to pay out to that shit. They're trying. I know they were trying to get out of it. A lot of insurance companies were.
See, now you've opened up a can of worms, because you got people in the mountains, and I'm sure this applies for spots in Texas too. And God bless everybody in Texas. I hope you all are well and safe, and I hope everything turns out wonderful for you. But those people in the mountains, they got hit with something that they weren't prepared for. It like Hammy said, 100-year storm, 1,000-year storm. They weren't prepared for that. They don't get stuff like that. And then you've got people like FEMA and all these other government agencies coming in, and they're giving them $500, $750.
FEMA's a joke, dude.
To replace their homes, their vehicles. I mean, to replace stuff that they lost, and some of that stuff, there is no amount of money that's going to replace it. And then you've got people coming in, civilians coming in, spending their own money, their own time, taking their own resources to come in and do 10 times as much as the federal government even thought about doing. I mean,
I think in my area alone, we had like 4 or 5, maybe even more semi trucks. Bringing their donated stuff.
Bringing their own helicopters in. I mean, you've got people, civilian pilots, private pilots, spending thousands of dollars.
That was shit too.
Fly people in and out. And then
dude
Walmart
almost got arrested for that.
This is where I will give it to Walmart. I gained a lot of respect for Walmart. Walmart Distribution Center, and I forget where it's at. They sent out a fleet of semis, and I can't exactly remember how many semis it was. but a Walmart distribution center sent out a fleet of semis to the mountain regions of North Carolina, loaded with supplies for them people.
Like I know here in my area, it might be a state law, I'm not sure, but um I know here in our area, if you live within a certain proximity of a waterway, there's a certain level of flood insurance you need to have. So if like you live within X amount of feet or whatever the deal is of like a stream or a creek, you need so much, the value of so much. But really, our streams and creeks here don't get every like we'd have to get rain for like a week for them streams to get going really bad. Uh, the worst I've seen it is after like a really bad blizzard, and then a couple days later it gets warm or whatever, and then it rains, and you just got all this extra water. We've had the water come up on the road, but it's never been. But like I said, and again, I don't really live in an area that has that risk.
Yeah, see,
My
around
more of my risk, honestly, is my risk is more of wind and tree damage. Like I have a better chance of a tree falling on my house than I do of it flooding out.
around here, a lot of people carry, flood insurance and stuff like that because in this area where I'm at, you're surrounded basically by one big swamp. And it doesn't take, I mean, it takes a good amount, but it doesn't take a lot of rain for the swamp to back up. And then all of a sudden, roads are flooded, houses start flooding. I mean, I've got a house down for me that if a strong thunderstorm comes up, the water's on his front porch. So, I mean, around here, a lot of people carry flood insurance, and the farmers carry different types of insurances to cover themselves for stuff like that. But that's just because, like I said, we're surrounded by a big tail swamp, so it floods real easy.
Right. And a lot of that probably is just precautionary because how often is something like that insurance actually needed? Because if you think about it, and I believe this was brought up at the beginning of the year, maybe like March or whatever, whenever about the California fires, how the insurance companies were refusing to pay out uh, for damages to like these $1 million properties because they said that it was because the fire was not a natural disaster, that it was a man-made fire that somebody created started a fire on the side of a hill that led to these
I
houses
didn't
burning down.
tell Tater to go light that fucking match and burn my house down. I didn't tell
Right, but
him to
and
do
that's
that. Like,
like
yeah,
that's my
it's
point.
man made, but I had no. It wasn't man of me.
And
I
that's
didn't
my
burn my
point
own
is like
motherfucking house
because
down.
so if you live in an area and somebody from another state comes in and decides to be an asshole and do that, should you not still be entitled to that insurance that you paid to cover your losses? No,
You
the problem
absolutely
is yeah,
should.
you should be, and you would be if it was only your house that was affected. But that insurance company's looking down going, oh boy, this is like $1 billion worth of damage. We can't afford that. Because just as well as I do that 20, and this is, I think, a fact, that 20% of the money okay, 100% of what you pay in your insurance, no matter what the value is, $40, $100 a month, whatever, out of that, equal that to 100%. 80% of that goes to pay the agents, the corporate offices, maintain the buildings, do all that stuff. Only 20% of what you paid goes into an insurance pool. So if there's 50 people in your area that are all paying the same price, and let's just say you're paying $100, let's just say for the sake of it, that means $20 of every $100 goes into an insurance pool. So if 50 people have their money in there and something bad happens during a month, there's only so much money that can go in there that can be paid out because all the rest of this money is being already allocated to salaries and surveys and rents and electricities and all the stuff for the business to run.
See, the
That's
insurance company
why
should be similar to a fucking bank. It needs to be backed up by the federal government with like the FDIC and shit, to where like okay, insurance has insurance. You know. Like,
Well, so this is
you can't just say it was a man-made fire, so we're not going to cover anything because there's so many of you,
beginning
and we would go bankrupt. Like, then what the
beginning
fuck have I been paying you for?
beginning of last year, the wife got it's classified as a car accident, but it's not. She was at an intersection and a car came driving down like up over a little bit of a hill and then came down. Like she was at the stop sign waiting, and the car just like took off the front end of her bumper. Just basically just hit her car, but didn't do no damage to anything but the bumper. Just ripped the fucking bumper clear off. And the guy pulled over, stopped. I wish I was there because it would have been a problem. I guess the guy got out and said that the wife was past the stop line and his metal bumper had a dent on it. And we had to go through, BB, when I tell you 2 to 3 months of back and forth with sending pictures and having a claims adjuster come out and then taking it to a body shop to have the damage assessed on it. And the one claim adjuster's like, well, this could very well go against you guys. And I looked at the dude and I said, can I ask you a question? I said, when was the last time a flimsy piece of plastic put a dent in a metal bumper? That dent was already there. Had to have been. You know, but that doesn't stop the fact that she was sitting target and got hit. So after about 5 months of back and forth bullshit, she got $1,000. The damage was estimated at like $1,700 or $1,800. So she didn't even get, she got about half of what the value was. Because you figure the damage was estimated at that much, but how much was the garage bill going to be with the labor to do the repairs? So right now she's driving around with freaking basically a bumper zip tied onto a 2016 Jeep Patriot. And her turn signal lens is yellow duct tape, basically duct taped on it, so that way when she turns the light on, it'll at least be somewhat the right color. Until we can save up the $2,000, $2,500 to go in and get it fixed. Like it was a drawn out. Insurance is the biggest scam in the world. But if you don't have it, you can get arrested. That's the crazy part, right? Like, oh, you don't have car insurance, you can get a ticket, you can get arrested.
So Tater, I'm sure that I'm going to digress. Amy, you going to digress from this for a minute?
Yeah.
Tater, I'm sure you had an opinion on what we were talking about beforehand when we talked a little bit about New York, and we were talking about California, and it piqued your interest in the chat a little bit. So, what's your opinion on all of that?
Look, other groups of people don't need you getting offended for them. If they want to get offended, they'll get offended themselves. They don't need you to do it for them. We don't need you throwing your beliefs and everything else our direction and trying to get everybody to live the life that you think everybody should live. It's not how the world works. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but that's not how it works. There's people. There's a point in time where people need to go back and start actually using their brain instead of their feelings to make a thought or to make a decision. The world, I hate to tell people, but the world doesn't care about your feelings or what you want. That's how it works. If it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. You just have to get over it, or you can get offended. I don't care.
Well, you just hurt my feelings and offended me all in one.
Well, then guess what? I guess you need to remove me from the squad.
And like a responsible person, I'm not going to drink and drive like Hammy.
No, that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah,
because
that's what I do.
That kills people. But yeah, I just
hold on. That could kill people.
Okay, could kill
That
people.
could kill somebody.
Could kill people. But I just, I don't understand where they get these ideas and these ideas from. Some of it I think people should be able to carry around like the small skinny part of a fishing pole or a bullwhip, and every time
Like
one
a
of them does
switch.
like a switch, and every time one of them does something stupid or says something stupid, they should just pop them on the back of the neck with it. I think
Well,
if we did that, like okay, take like Singapore for example. Okay, in Singapore, it is Singapore is a great country. It's very beautiful. But do you know what happens in Singapore? And this is kind of getting a little off of that because it's going in another realm. But do you know what the penalty is in Singapore if you're caught bringing drugs into that country? Do you know
Yeah.
what they do? Death. There's no
isn't that the same as like Bali? Because I remember
there's
the Bali 9.
yeah, they don't ask questions. They don't. There is no trial.
The Bali
You are
Nine weren't
taken.
they were beheaded, right?
No, the
Uh,
Bali 9 were Australians that went to Bali and tried to smuggle drugs out of Bali, but got caught at the airport. Um, Two of them, which is weird, Byron Sukumara and Nathan Anthony Chan or something like that. Those two were executed by firing squad. Just here in the past year or so, the remaining ones were actually freed by the Bali government and sent back to Australia. But they were there for a long ass time. Yeah,
I mean, it,
they
I mean, it makes sense to send them back to Australia, considering Australia was a country built off of sending
criminal.
criminals
Yeah.
to a island out in the middle of the ocean.
That's a weird fucking thing too, right? Like the English were like, "Hey, you know what? We got this island that's just infested with freaking emus and deadly spiders and shit. Ain't no way off of it. Let's just send a boat full of people there." And then they just started making babies, and next thing you know, good day, mate.
Country.
Yeah, country. We have a
Australia.
flag now.
Australia is home to 7 or 8 of the 10 deadliest snakes in the world.
I think it's also like the most
They are
the
home.
country with the most Aboriginal traditions in the world, isn't it? Like they
Yep.
got all
And
kinds of shit going. And them
Australia is
some bitches are
also
crazy too.
yeah, they are. Australia is also home to one of the deadliest spiders in the world, the Sydney funnel web.
And also
Oh,
the
you
stupidest
want
musical instrument in the world, the
to?
didgeridoo.
Hey! It's not that bad.
Well, not that good either. It's just a damn tube that you go boom, boom.
But I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know. I there. I'm gonna just leave it as what my comment says. They need to get their heads out their ass.
Well, and a lot of it though, Tater, is it's all politically driven. Because like I was saying, if you just go back, I'll look it up for you. It ain't gonna take long. Just go back to Obama saying about illegal immigration. The whole country loved Obama, right? I even voted for his ass because I thought, hey, this guy, he's talking like I can believe he's gonna do something good. It didn't obviously work out as planned, but he everything that Orange Man did, Black Man did before him. But because Orange Man's doing it, now everybody hates it. It's all political. It has nothing to do with it. They know, and this is just my opinion, but the more people you let in, the more people are going to like you. And the more people that like you, the more people that vote for you, which means the more power you get in government. There are people that are standing on the front line arresting these people who believe that they shouldn't be arrested, but they said these certain words that are part of, and I believe you said them too, to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah, I have.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
I have said those words.
So even if you personally believe that illegal immigration should be allowed, if the person in charge tells you to stop them from doing it, you got two choices. You either do your job or you get arrested.
I
You
agree
know,
with I agree with something BB said. If you want to come into this country, that is fine and dandy. Bring your happy ass on over here and come party with the rest of us, but do it the right way. Go through the right channels, go through the paperwork. Yeah, it may take a while and it may be aggravating,
That's what they make fucking visas
but
for, dude.
but
That's what they make fucking
do it
visas for.
the right way.
Be
If
here
if
on
if
a visa until you get your citizenship.
come on a work visa, and while you're here on your work visa, work on your citizenship. But
well, Tom
think
Homan said
don't
it.
think because you can take a pogo stick and jump over a wall that you can just come over here, because that's not how it works.
Tom Homan said it great a couple years back. He said, if you want to come to the United States, we want you to come here. Do it the legal way. Come through a port of entry. Do it. You're like
Exactly.
you're supposed to. Like if you get arrested for jumping over the border illegally, you should never get arrested or never get upset if you get pulled over for speeding. Why is one any different from the other? It's a law,
I
whether
feel
you agree with it or
And
not.
if
I feel
and
like
I feel like
if you I
if
feel
you
like if
get
you come
arrested
go
if you
ahead.
get arrested if you get arrested for coming across that border illegally,
You're about to say what I was gonna say.
at that point I feel you should lose any right you had in being able to become
Yep.
an American citizen. At
You
that
just
point,
said exactly what I was about to say.
when you get arrested and get your ass deported back to your home country, that right there should take away any visa rights, any right you had to a passport that can be used to come into the United States. It should all disappear. You should lose it all. And then you can try to do it and go into another country illegally. And trust me, there are countries that are way worse than us on people coming in illegally.
Yeah, we just send you back where you came from. A free flight back
Yeah,
to
you
where you
get a
came
free.
from.
I was gonna say you get a free trip and probably a good first class meal on your way too. We're probably the nicest country deporting people anywhere in the world. Like there was Canada said during that whole shit is, hey, we understand the United States is letting y'all come in. Don't come here. We're not allowing you in here. Canada doesn't really have a border. They have like a paved, or not a paved, but like a stretch of trees that are cut down. You can look it up. Like it's just you can walk across their border and probably not get seen as long as you're in the woods somewhere. They'll catch you eventually, but you won't get caught going across the border.
I don't know, unless Dudley Do Right's facing the wrong direction. I might get caught. But why would I want to go there?
Well, Bronson, you could be looking at Canada and walk the other direction.
Fuck off.
Depends on which
That's
thing device
that's a
you
good one.
use. Depends on which thing device you use to cross the border.
That was actually a good one. I'm going to give you that because when you started, I'm like, where's he going with this?
It's called Google Maps, fucker. I ain't got to look up.
Yeah.
Just follow the needle.
Even looking down, that needle could wander a little bit.
Got that shit that says continue walking straight for 500 steps.
Yeah, he'll have to listen. He'll have to listen to the voice, and sometimes that voice will tell you to turn right, and there'll be a big ass cliff off the right side.
Why did bring him up from the waiting room?
Yeah. I don't know why you'd, but to answer the question, why would you want to go to Canada? I really don't know.
There's no really logic to get to Alaska, but why would you want to go there?
I guess if you want to, if the only thing to really go to Canada for is fucking moose hunting, maybe. I don't know.
To bring that moose back is fucking outrageous.
But you can moose hunt in the United States.
Yeah, but they got more up there. Go take theirs. I wouldn't know why you'd want to even go through the whole process of getting a passport just to go across the bridge, but sure. Yeah, like
I
the
mean,
Canada to
hey,
me,
they have that free healthcare thing going for them.
yeah.
You
They
know,
also got Alberta. Alberta wants to become part of the United States. Whether or not that happens,
We'll trade Alberta for California. Oh,
I
I mean,
in a heartbeat.
I could agree with that.
Here, you guys take California, we'll take Alberta, fair trade.
But it's like I said earlier in the show. California is just a small Canada. Like it's really not that even of a trade. You're
As long
still
as the people get to go and we like, as long as they take their bullshit and we get Alberta's resources, that's our trade. You guys can have all these celebrities and all this movie production and all that. Take it all. Take it all. It's all yours. Give us the shit that actually matters.
yeah, I'll download it on LimeWire. I wondered if you'd catch that one. I'll download it on LimeWire.
I used to love Canada. I used to always think Canada was great, and then the older I got, I'm like, what kind of country puts a fucking leaf on a flag? Like, of all the things you could put on there, a leaf. You know, we don't have a bald eagle on our flag. Our flag is not just a flag with an eagle in the center. Their whole country is about one tree. And I like maple syrup, but we got maple syrup here in the United States.
I don't like it that much.
America syrup, we call it. Canada, they got to name everything after them, though, right? Like they got Canadian geese, Canadian bacon, a Canadian slip knot, even a knot that you can tie on a rope has to be named after Canada. Like
And you know what?
they
You want to know? And you want to know what's funny? Even the geese that's named after them have to come to the U.S. every so often just to get away.
yeah,
And some of them take up permanent residence.
and they don't even sound like geese. They just fly through the air going, hey.
So you know.
Sorry, that was. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not.
Yeah,
I was.
you're not.
That was a funny joke.
What you got for us next, Sammy?
Something that's kind of old, but not really that old, but it's still kind of talked about. You know that old saying, "We've got the nukes." They don't. They don't. Look, I was a skeptic on that whole shit too. Like we were talking that night, and you had said, "I wonder how long it's going to be before we actually bomb him." You said, "I wonder if Trump's going to actually do it," and I said, "I don't know, but if he does, we're not going to know about it until it's done."
And it was
And
less than 12 hours later.
well, yeah, it was that night even, but it was like because you can go back and look in Salute to Service in their chat when Boogie posted in there, "We bombed Iran."
Well, they hadn't done it yet. Like because there was false. If you remember, there was people coming out that it was bombed. Because during me and you did an unfiltered the night before. And I think for some reason Salute Service went live on Friday too. And there was false reports of it. It wasn't until that Saturday morning that they bombed them.
But like,
remember, I
so
told you I broke in our podcast. It was like breaking news. They just bombed them, and then we looked it up, and it was like, oh wait, never mind. They hadn't done it yet.
Yeah, so to me, but like the funniest part of that was, we had that conversation.
I think I messaged you that next day. It was like, well, there it is.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I went to bed and woke up and I seen the message in Salute to Service. I got your message and I'm like, wait, did we now? Because We didn't before, but did we now? And I looked it up, and sure enough, the first thing you heard about was these planes that flew off in one direction as a distraction, while planes went in another direction. And then you heard the whole, oh well, they bombed them, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And I got to thinking, I'm like, did we really just fly all the way over there and kind of bomb them? And then you seen the satellite pictures, and you're like, well, no, they can't lie about that one. That shit is gonzo. Like the before and after, it is gone, gone, gone. Children gone. The only thing that really irritates me is, though, there is pictures from like a couple days before. I don't know if it was a day or so before that showed a whole bunch of trucks and shit lined up along the road of the whatever that place was called, Fordo. So were they taking the uranium out of there or not? Because if they
Yes,
were taking the stuff out of
they
there,
were doing their best because they knew it was coming.
so yeah, okay, we then if that's the case, they got the enriched uranium out.
Yeah,
We
I
bombed the
messaged
place.
you. I messaged you on 6/21 and told you the strike on Iran happened. And we had done our podcast on 6/20.
We bombed the facility that they were enriching uranium, but if they already got all the enriched uranium out before we bombed it, then all we did was we stopped future enriching, at least for however long it takes. But is there another facility that they can now take that enriched uranium that we didn't bomb and turn it into a missile? Is that a possibility? I'm sure we have satellites just scoping them out all
It
the
has
time.
been said that they pretty much cleared out the facility before it was bombed, and it is at an undisclosed location that the U.S. does not know about. I'm sure the U.S. probably could figure it out.
Well, we know. If we knew where fucking
There are two things that the U.S. has that can and will find it. One of them's called a satellite. The other one is an aircraft that can fly at 60 to 70,000 feet. It was built for reconnaissance missions like that.
Yeah, over Russia.
And it is still in operation today. They still fly it. It was built to take the place of the SR-71. And it is, if I'm not badly mistaken, it's the correct me if I'm wrong, Hammy, B1? Is it the B1 that's the reconnaissance plane?
I believe so, yeah. That's it's the damn thing's got a wingspan like gigantic, and when it lands, no, maybe it might not be, but it only has, like, it doesn't have a lot of wheel. So when it lands, it has to have a chaser plane that tells it as it's coming down into the ground. Is it the SR-21 maybe?
No, it's the U2. It's
Yeah, the
so
U-2 spy plane.
the U2 actually has landing gear that they're in the center of the aircraft, and then so when it lands, it's got a chase car that comes in behind it. They normally use Dodge Chargers, fun fact. And when it lands, it actually, once it slows down enough and starts coming to a stop, it's actually got skid plates on the wings because it actually falls over on a wing and slides to a stop. And
Yeah,
then
when it takes off
they've got like little training wheels that they prop up under the wings so they can taxi back to wherever they need to taxi to. And then they also use those to take off. And once they get to a certain speed and start to rotate, those training wheels fall off.
And that's got to be a hell of a fucking landing. Your plane just going.
That plane is actually harder to fly at 70,000 feet than it is to land because you are literally teetering on the edge of stalling or going too fast. but it's the
Yeah, and you gotta maintain just the right speed because you're at the edge of you're like right there at the edge of space. Like if you go too fast, you're dead. If you go too
It-
slow, well,
you're
it
dead.
ain't gonna turn out. It ain't gonna turn out good. You got 70,000 feet, 100,000 feet, whatever it is, to think about your entire life before it's done.
So, fun fact: NASA actually had a mission to where space mission, and they did not have suits for the astronauts. They actually went to a U-2 squadron and got uh, the suits that the pilots of the U-2s wear. They actually went and got suits from U-2 pilots to use in the space mission. There's actually pictures of those astronauts wearing I think it's either orange or yellow U-2 pilot suits instead of the white NASA suits.
Hmm.
But it's
Yeah,
the
I'm
nickname
scared of
of the
heights.
plane
I
is
ain't getting up
Dragon
there.
Head. Oh, I'd take that flight in a freaking heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm passing on that too, Hammy. If I can't
Yep.
I'm
drive,
not
if I
going
can't
up
drive
there.
there, I ain't going.
That's my
Look,
rule.
I'm not climbing a ladder. I'm not bungee jumping. I'm not skydiving. But you put me in a jet or a plane, I'll take that flight any day as long as I ain't got to jump out of it. Put me in a helicopter.
He
Put
just
me in
said,
a
"I ain't
put me
climbing a ladder. I ain't like." He just went from one spectrum to the other.
put put
I ain't
me
climbing a ladder
put
but I'll get in a fucking airplane.
put me in a helicopter with a harness on strapped to the floor of the helicopter, and I'll lean out the door to the point the only thing holding me in is that little strap attached to my back.
Yeah, you
You ain't doing none of that.
you got problems. That
Doesn't bother me.
you might need to speak to a psychiatrist about because you're psychotic.
There ain't no goddamn way. First off, two things you said in that sentence make no sense to me. I'm not skydiving, but I'll get into a plane. Hold on. If the plane says, I'm done, I'm going. Now
You're
you're
skydiving.
kind of you're sky falling, I guess. It's basically the same. At least skydiving, you have a parachute.
They
You
don't have
Unless
an
hope.
some bitch
ocean.
decides to go
hope.
out. Yeah, pull the cord and like your lunch pail comes flying out or something. That would be some
But
shit.
if the engines of that plane go out and decide to just not work anymore, at least there are wings there to kind of glide it. Because Sully, he landed one in the Hudson River. People
All right. Well,
survived it.
a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Sully had
My luck, the fucker land in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean where nobody's around me or anything, and here I am.
They did a major investigation against Sully though too.
Yeah, he could have landed at an airport. He fucked that one up. He turned the wrong way. But I was it really his fault though? Like, in an emergency situation, you don't always think of the best thing first. You're like, oh shit, do this. He made the wrong turn. Good for him that he managed to get it into the water and not kill nobody. But me, if I'm on that plane, if I have a choice between the Hudson River or the airport, yeah, I'm gonna pick the airport probably. But there's a problem. I ain't gonna be on that plane. Because if I was meant to fly, I'd have been born a fucking bird.
You are not wrong. I'm telling you, I don't. Jess has been wanting to go on cruise ships. She's wanted to fly places, and it's like, no, neither of them. Nope,
You want to go on a cruise ship? Go out in the middle of the goddamn ocean.
not happening.
5 miles. Go 5 miles down and see how that one turned out.
Only boat
Ain't
you'll
doing it.
ever catch me on is a little John boat. That's it. No. Mm-mm.
You're
Yeah,
safer,
I'm a river.
You're safer on that.
I'm a
cruise
riverboat.
than you are that John boat.
Hell, no. See, no, not really though, because my
Not in my
John boat,
mind. Not
when
in
it's
my
in the
mind.
water, when I'm on my John boat and I'm just cruising down the river fishing, just pounding down Budweisers, there's two things that cannot happen. One, I can't sink to the bottom of the ocean. And two, I can't get eaten by a shark because neither one of those two things are at play. The ocean, the rivers I go in, you just start blowing your little rape whistle and somebody will come get you. You go bobbing out in the middle of the ocean, that rape whistle ain't doing you no goddamn good. There, you're just out there. And if my boat flips over for any reason, usually the shore isn't too far away, especially when I'm on a John boat because they're not meant for open waters speed. They're kind of like a flat bottom. Here I am fishing.
Hammy, you and Bronson have no sense of adventure.
Oh yes, I do. Sure, I will go get in the car and I will drive to an amusement park. That is adventure. I was not ever.
They literally have an amusement park called Adventure Park.
Yeah, when I was a kid, if you wanted to go do something fun, you go out and build a fort. Nowadays, if you want to do something fun, fucking jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
You
Don't
got
know why,
you
but
got
you do
these
it.
fucking adrenaline junkies. I don't know where that
ever see
became
that
a thing. Adrenaline junkies.
You ever see that video?
Cliff
Look it
guy.
up. This is the craziest, stupidest goddamn thing I ever seen in my life. The guy that jumped out of an airplane with no parachute on purpose and landed in a net. Like, if he missed, game over. That made no sense. And like that Bumgardner guy that jumped out of that fucking Red Bull thing at the edge of space and flew down. At one point, he was spinning so out of control, he didn't know what was going on. If he wasn't able to recover, dead. Why? Why do that? Makes no sense. What do you get for it? Oh, Red Bull gave you a...
He did that to set a height record, a speed record, and a distance record.
Who
I'm glad
gives
he
a
did
fuck
it, 'cause
about
I
your
wasn't gonna do it.
record?
Yeah.
And he set all three.
He can have them.
I give zero fucks about your records. I don't care who set a record.
Oh, this guy went on the salt flats in Arizona and he did 300 miles an hour in this rocket car. Okay, good. I wasn't on my list of things to do, so.
You see me on a cruise ship or an airplane, Jess has probably already killed me and she's dumping me out.
Yeah, that's about it. Like me, I used to be in pretty good shape. I could run. Now, if you see me running, there's a really good chance there's either a dog behind me or somebody with a gun, and I got to go because otherwise I ain't doing it.
So what you're saying,
Ain't no
Hammy,
need.
is now if we ever see you running now, we need to run too.
Pretty much.
Yeah, if I'm running, everybody else better run because I ain't coming back for you. I ain't stopped telling you what's going on.
Thing is, Fat Boy don't run. That's the whole issue.
I can run. I run like a deer, though, when I do run. It's like a deer that got shot, but I run really fast for a really short period of time. And then
and it's only a short period of time because he only smokes about 2 packs a day.
Yeah. And
but he doesn't drink and drive because he's responsible. He is a very, very responsible person.
Mm-hmm. Preach, brother, preach.
I've been preaching all night, man. I've been making sure that that your image is known that you're a responsible person and you do not drink and drive.
I'm giving up alcohol completely.
You hadn't drank a single drop all week.
No, actually I haven't. That's very uncharacteristic.
You're drinking coffee right now.
I actually am. Yep, drinking coffee out of a 16-ounce fucking cup, like a flip-top cup. And I'm drinking Folgers Classic Roast.
I only know that he's drinking coffee because that's what he normally drinks when he don't fucking feel good. You can tell we've been friends long enough to know your habits.
Like I said, I've been, man, since Saturday. I woke up Saturday feeling like I was hit by a train. It didn't get no better until like Tuesday afternoon. I started feeling better. And then Wednesday, I mustered through recording schedule 1. And then yesterday we did the SGRP video. Here I am today. Amazingly, I haven't had to blow my nose yet during this whole podcast, but it does get clogged up here every once in a while.
Well, guys, we've been going for almost 2 hours. I don't even think we covered everything that was on your list. But we knew what we were doing.
Left out the triple B.
Oh, we could always cover that on a later podcast. That unravels a little bit further every day.
Yeah, sure does.
But till next time, guys, I'm the Delta BB.
I'm Hammy.
I'm Tater.
We'll catch y'all on the next episode of Unfiltered. Tune in to Salute Service tomorrow.
Jace.
Alright. Y'all tune in to Tater tomorrow night.
fist in the air, tell me to sit down, I don't even care. The sun will rise again, so